Hey everybody, it's Danielle here from DKW Styling. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I started my brand on YouTube just sharing hair tips, hair hacks, hair do's, hair don'ts, hair products, hair curling irons, hair. I shared a lot of hair. So I stopped for a while, I got kind of busy. We started an education company called Big Money Stylist, which is the education portion on natural beaded row hair extensions, which is a hair extension system using hand-tied hair. Hand-tied hair is super trending. If you hear anything like hand-tied hair on the marketplace, that's actually referring to the hair, not the system, so make sure you do your research. Today on this video, I'm currently wearing my product. I have been educating for almost a decade and been doing hair for, I don't know, 16 years. I feel like I started life in general super young. So I'm just like capitalizing on the fact that I did start really young, and I'm just continuing to hustle and push my brand to the next level. And I love hair, so I got back on YouTube and I wanted to share, again, products, tips, tricks, hair curling, everything with you guys. Today this video is all about questions that we get asked all the time with natural beaded rows. So I'm calling this frequently asked questions with hair extensions. Okay, so when we have a new client come to my salon in Laguna Beach, California, we have everybody apply, meaning they just fill out a short application, they submit photos of their hair. It's basically for us as the artists to get a better understanding and knowledge of how their hair was before coming to the salon, and if they're a good candidate for natural beaded rows. I've been doing extensions for long enough to know that when somebody is not a good candidate, it's just best to say no. So that's kind of our intent when having people apply to sit in a chair at DKW Styling Salon. In doing so, we do the phone consultations, and we book probably like 60% of our clientele fly in, and so it's something that it's nice to have a consultation over the phone and address any issues or concerns and things like that. So on this video, we're going to talk about, again, frequently asked questions. I would say my number one frequently asked questions with hair extensions, specifically, I can't talk today, specifically with natural beaded rows is, Danielle, can I pull my hair up in a ponytail with these extensions? Yes! Oh my God, yes! Like, I have honestly done over a dozen different methods. I have trained in them and done them on my clients. Really, I was just kind of looking for a solution for my own hair. This was even before my brand started and anything, and I just was like, I have the shittiest hair on the planet. It's like this mullet, it's this toddler hair, it's fine, it's straight, it has no body. I am a problem solver by nature, and I was like, everyone just kept saying, extensions are bad, extensions are bad. Like when I got into the hair industry, my sister who's older, who's been doing hair longer than me, was like, don't do hair extensions, ew, gross. And they had such a bad rap, and I was like, well, this shit's ew, gross. So what else can we do? How can we problem solve? So I tried a little bit of everything, just trying to figure out what would work on my hair, and this actually led me to create natural beaded row hair extensions, which is just like a combination of everything I learned. And of course, everything you learn has a foundation. It's not like I'm at home playing with needles and thread and dolls, and all of a sudden I'm like, Papa, I did it! Like nothing starts that way. Everything always has a good foundation. Okay, so frequently asked question, can you pull your hair up in a ponytail? Yes, you can. With these, I always tell people, these are nice because you can literally pull it half up like this, or you can pull it all the way up if you want to tip your head all the way upside down. And again, you can see these suckers are not showing. So I'm pretty sparse in here, as are most women. I call this like the cul-de-sac area, or it's called the recession really, but everybody has it, male, female. When you have kids, shit just goes sideways and it gets even worse. But you can see this little area. I mean, my extensions, you can't see them. You can see my head, but you cannot see these extensions. So that was one thing what I was looking for in creating extensions, and it's not just about how you apply it, but it's also about how you place the extensions. So I have them placed, I mean, they're clear up here, you can see. They're all the way up here. Ta-da! My extensions are super high, but they go with the shape of the hairline and they pull up really easy. So yes, you can pull your hair up with extensions. Even if I want to do a little half up, I just kind of have to make sure everything is covered. I'll sometimes do, you know, pin the bangs up, get it out of my face, all that good stuff. So yes, you can pull your hair with extensions. I would say my next frequently asked question is, can I work out with these? And yes, you can work out with these. For me, when I work out with them, I just put them in a bun on top of my head. I usually have to do 2 elastics so it holds, and I work out 3 to 4 times a week, have no issues. It's totally fine. What I do tell people is if you have a super sweaty workout, you're gonna wanna wash your hair, and hair extension hair will last longer if you only wash it. Probably I recommend my clients wash it 2 times a week. So you may wanna plan your sweaty workouts on days that you know are wash days. The other thing that I like to do is just wash my bangs or just wash the crown. That will save you about 20 minutes and time is value. And so sometimes that can make it look like you got all ready for the day and you just took 10 minutes and washed the top of your hair. Another frequently asked question that we get is, how do I brush my extensions? You just brush it like a real girl. And no, I use a wet brush. Everybody knows what a wet brush is, but I'll link it below so that if you don't know what a wet brush is, you can get it. You can literally run a wet brush right over most extensions. The only thing I'll tell clients is with wet extensions, if they're on a track or a row, they do brush through better when they're probably like 98% dry. So when I get out of the shower, I brush out the ends, or I put my leave-in conditioner in, I brush out the ends, then I kind of skim through and brush out the top. If it's a little tingly in here, I'm not super worried because I know once I start rough drying it, or even if I air dry it, when it gets to about 95% dry, it is easier to comb out, and that's when I'll go through and make sure I brush everything out. The only thing I tell my potential clients is, hey, on wash days, just go in, make sure nothing feels tangled, make sure everything's brushed out. The worst thing you can do for your extensions is be scared of brushing them. And I've seen that too, where they don't brush them, and then that's what causes tangling and matting, is just like ignoring the problem and pretending like everything's good. Don't do that. Go in between, make sure you check your extensions, make sure everything's combed out, and you should be good to go. Oh, how often should you tighten your extensions? With MPR and a lot of extensions I've worked with, I honestly feel like 6 to 8 weeks is best. That's when they start to slip a little bit more, and when they start to create too much slip or drag, that's actually what can create damage. So 6 to 8 weeks is usually best. My hair, I'm a 6-weeker because I have that fine slippery hair, and I like a lot of hair in, which means my tracks or rows are a little bit heavier. Replace the hair. How often should you replace the hair? Honestly, we recommend every 4 to 6 months. However, we've seen clients keep it longer, up to 9 months. But I'd rather, overpromise? No, underpromise and overdeliver. There we go. So you want to make sure that you're replacing some or all of the hair at least every 6 months. What I like to do on mine, and what I tell my clients, is I'm like, hey, we can also replace as needed. So if you come in and you're like, it feels dry, it feels tangly, I feel like blonde hair is a little more processed in every single line I've ever used, and typically blondes have to rotate their hair more often, regardless of the system or anything. Blondes are just more processed. So I'll kind of like look at it. If they complain about it dry or tangling, the first thing I want to do is educate the client on how to smooth it correctly so that it doesn't feel tangly, and products to use correctly so that they have an amazing experience. However, sometimes hair, it's just shot, it needs to go. And what I'll typically do is I would say like every 3rd tighten on mine, I'll take apart the row, and whichever pieces look a little bit more beat up, I'll replace some of the hair. So we do recommend 4 to 6 months. However, it's kind of one of those things like as needed. And honestly, like in the summer, I'm way harder on my hair. I go swimming, I'm in the ocean, I'm working out more, and I replace hair more often. So kind of keep that in mind if you are an extension wearer as well. The last question that I'm gonna go over is like products that you shouldn't use on extensions. We do recommend a sulfate-free shampoo and conditioner. I think that a lot of my clients will use really heavy conditioners and shampoos when they don't need to. So I would recommend like a color safe or something that's kind of like right in the middle. I personally use I can't remember which one I use. It's the Orbe. It's in the black bottle. Their signature. I use the Orbe signature one, and that tends to work best for my hair. And sometimes if I'm feeling too flat or whatever, I'll use a volumizer. And then sometimes if I'm feeling a little more dry, I will use more of like an intense moisture, but use an intense moisture as needed. It shouldn't be something that you use every single wash. And if you only wash your hair once or twice a week, that means like in a month you could only be washing it probably 4 to 6 times. So you really only need like a heavy moisturizing shampoo and conditioner maybe once a month or as needed. So keep that in mind. The other mistake that I see people do is they'll feel like they're dry and tangly and they'll over mask them. And if you put too much product in the extension hair, it creates product buildup and actually starts to break down the hair. So keep that in mind as well. trying to think if there's any, oh, sunscreen. Do not get sunscreen or any kind of oil in your hair. If you get sunscreen or oil in your hair, and then you're out in the sun, it turns it all sorts of funky colors, usually like orange or pink or whatever. And then the last thing is careful if you use bath bombs when you're in the bath. I've seen my blondes take a bath bomb with a pink bath bomb, and they had pink ends, so be careful with that. So anyways, you guys, that is all of the frequently asked questions that I could think off the top of my head. And again, my YouTube channel is more like educational rather than just like show you how to do things. I want to explain them. So anyways, hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the link below. That'll take you directly to my blog where you can see all of the products that I've been talking about in this video, and you can hear more about me. All right, you guys, that's it for today, and I will see you next week.